Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, what I'd like to do, we'll start off with the watch of the week. Then I want to talk about buying options when you buy a watch, and then I want to have an unboxing. So we got a lot to do today, so I'll get going. First of all, we have Art Leyenberger's H. Moser at Sea Endeavor Small Seconds. Beautiful watch. I love these watches. The movement is an HMC 321 manual winding. My favorite. I love manual winding. It's got a very low 18,000 vibration per hour. This will extend not only the life of the watch, but also the life of the wind or the charge. It has a 3-day power reserve, and the size is, for me, the perfect size, 38.8 millimeters. Great looking watch. Thank you, Art, for letting us show this. I think it's fantastic. Also, too, Art has a YouTube channel called Art Leyenberger, has a great video on buying a watch, what we're going to be talking about today. And what he does, he take your practices that you're used to buying anything with and apply them to watches. So that's sort of a double treat from Art. Okay, I'm going to start off. I picked a watch that I doubt anyone's shopping for, and this is just to avoid people saying, oh, well, I know a better deal or this or that. Maybe so. That's great. I'm just trying to find something to use as an example for buying options. Now, this is called the Jacques Dreux Lady 8 Art Deco. When I was looking at had the video on buying something for my wife, this watch came up. All right, now, you have three basic options. Now, this is buying new. You can go to an authorized dealer, and the cost at an authorized dealer for this particular watch was $27,200. You have a full warranty, and so if something goes wrong, you can go right back to the dealer and say, hey, take care of this. The second option is new from a secondary market dealer. And these are watches that the manufacturer has too many of, and they're not selling through to their retailers, so they got to go somewhere with it, and so they go to the secondary market. And here, that same watch was $20,000, so this is a $6,800 saving. Okay, now these are called, by the way, they're called Condition Zero. They're unworn, unowned, and everything else. Now, the next option I'll call Condition Zero-ish, right? What these are a secondary market dealer who gets the watches from the retailer. One example is a place called shopworn.com, and it's been sitting around the store, whether it's in the back room or in the showroom window. It's just been sitting around, and customers will come in and try them on and so forth, but they're not new, in the brand new, but they're not pre-owned either. And so it's sort of an interesting in-between place, but I consider them Condition Zero, but there's a lot more range in what you may end up with. Okay, so the same watch, again, is $11,400. Now, this is a big savings. This is half of what the secondary market was. The first secondary market is about almost a third of what an AD would charge. That saves $15,800. Now, this particular one had these are things you should look for and use, especially if you're not into negotiation. They had a 10% off discount. So 10% off of $11,400 is $1,140. That's a big discount. So this brings it down to $10,260. Okay, so that's a total savings of $16,000, $16,940, almost $17,000 over the AD price on this. So you can also, another option to take is negotiate. Say, hey, okay, this is a great deal. Instead of taking a 10% discount, I'm going to take my own discount. All right, here's what I can afford. You can negotiate. Okay, so those are the major three buying options for a new watch. Now, a couple things to look for. Now, these were a couple watches that I saw at Joma Shop. Joma Shop is, to me, a great secondary dealer. They get their watches from the manufacturer for the most part, and then they sell them to us at big discounts. So I saw these two watches. Well, they look pretty much the same. And when you're shopping online, they are. You can't hold up two watches and say, "Oh, this one is 42 millimeters." I mean, you can't see it by looking at it on your wrist. You've got to read all the details. That's important. Here's a good example with these two Langa Zuna. Uh, One was 11,840, and the other one was $17,995. $18,000. Now there's a big difference, about a $16,000 difference. Not $1,600, but a $6,000 difference. And I'm looking at them, gold, small seconds, and so forth. Well, the one on the left is 35 millimeters, which to me is just a little small. It'll work in a pinch, but a little small. On the other hand, a 38.5 millimeters right in my sweet spot for what I like about watches. So if I ran off there, send in, and just hold back 1 second. A lot of people think, oh, if I don't buy it right now, someone else is going to get it. That may happen, okay, but not within 5 minutes it takes you to look at the details about a watch. Okay, so one's 35 millimeter and one's 38.8. So the difference is, at least would be for me, one I would wear and one I wouldn't wear. So that answers that. Now, on the other hand, you also have one is manual, one is automatic. Sometimes if you like automatics, you'd be really unhappy if you bought the less expensive one. Now, me, on the other hand, I prefer manuals over automatics. That's for a lot of reasons, but that's neither here nor there. I buy automatics too. The point is that when you're buying any of these, look at the details. If they don't have them, be careful, okay? Because somebody may be up to something. I've seen very small watches. Someone's trying to unload, and they don't mention that they're 30 millimeters or something. All right, another funny kind of thing that I ran into was that I was seeing these watches, and they were pretty much the same, but there was a huge difference in the price. These were from about 10 and a half on up to $15,500. These are all H. Mosers, including one that I have, H. Moser Henry Double Hairspring, $12,477. Now, one of the things I noticed, they were all in Europe. Now, the same watches in this Malaysian dealer were a good deal less, from just about 8,000 up to eight and a half. That's a great big difference. And so the question is why? Well, there's the cost of living in Malaysia. It has nothing to do with that. Okay, I mean, somebody buying watches of this caliber are ready to spend a good deal of money, but there's no reason for collectors to spend too much. What it is that I looked up the average height of Europeans and the average height of Malaysians. So the average height of Malaysians is 5.5 feet, or 5.5 feet 5 inches, whereas in the Europeans is around 6 feet. The Dutch are over 6 feet. They're the tallest people around. So you're going to have larger wrists. Now, this is a 42 millimeter, give you an idea. Now, and a 7.5 inch wrist. Now, somebody's got like a 7 inch or 6.5 inch. This thing may look like a frisbee strapped to their arm. And so what happened, I know somebody in Malaysia, one of the reviews we had, he was saying, man, these watches are too big. And so here you have a dealer with something that's not right for the audience. And again, this is where you want to swoop in and save a lot of money that way. Not just with this, but any other kinds of things. You're not negotiating, you're just sort of trying to figure out, okay, why is one expensive and why is one less expensive? All right. Going on now, let's take a look at buying pre-owned. Now, you have pretty much the same options. First of all, you have the authorized dealers. I bought a used Harry Winston from an authorized dealer, and he gave me a decent price on it too. So it wasn't the kind, because they can negotiate. If you're an authorized dealer for Patek Philippe or Rolex or some of these other companies, they will not let you discount. If you do, you're going to lose your license to sell their watches. On the other hand, as soon as they're used watches, you can do anything you want. You have a lot more leeway. So somebody comes in, this was Harry Winston authorized dealer. He gets trade-ins for more Harry Winstons or some other watch. So he gave me a good buy, I think, anyway. And, I knew it wasn't going to be fake. This is another thing, too. If you get it from an authorized dealer, you can almost guarantee you're not going to end up with a fake watch. And if something's wrong with it, usually, if there's any warranty left from the company, you'll get it from an authorized dealer. And sometimes they'll have their own on top of that. Second of all is, again, your secondary market dealer. Now, these are used watches. Now, some of the ones, like for Joma Shop, I don't think they have used watches. They get all of theirs from the manufacturer. But there are a lot of companies that do. I mean, they have both authorized dealership as well as secondary or used dealership. Govberg is a good example of that. I've gotten watches from them, and they've been used, both of them. Okay, so they're all over the map, and that's the only way to put it. They will often have a regular dealer warranty, and if it's anywhere near reputable, they will protect you from buying a fake. Okay, because that's the last thing they want to do is sell you a fake. What I did, I bought two very good watches, two FP Journes from the same secondary market dealer. And I had them for not too long, and there was minimal paperwork on both of them. One had none. One had this little card that was a guarantee card. So what I did is that I sent them both to FP Journe to be overhauled. And so I have sort of like if you're getting a really expensive, really top-notch watch, I would recommend doing that. If you don't know the service history. If you get one and they have a thing, well, we were serviced last month, then that's fine. But you want to have some place where you sort of like for your own conditions, zero. Where's my starting point where I can say that now I can sort of time out the services and so forth. Buying a watch from an individual is the most difficult. I mean, it's not difficult, it can be tricky. Sometimes you'll meet somebody in one of the chat groups they have online, and that can work out fine. I know a couple people online I've met, I would buy a watch from them in a minute. Other people, I wouldn't, once I've met online. But if you're using something like Chrono24 to buy a watch, some of the people selling watches will be indicated as individuals. I bought one such watch, and it was either from Chrono24 or eBay, one of the two. One of the best deals I ever had in my life. Fabulous deal. Great watch. I love it. Not a problem. One I didn't buy was probably a better buy. I didn't buy it because something was wrong. If you got any sense that something is wrong, especially if you start hearing noises like, oh, I got to leave town or I got to go somewhere, so we better make this deal, just walk away. That's a fire alarm, or it should be anyway. This can be tricky. Fakes, yes, yeah, there can be fakes there. So of all of the ways to do it, this is the most difficult to not get burned. I've been very fortunate. I mean, I am careful, but still, there's something. We're protected. What they say, Englishmen and fools. Anyway, okay. All right. Well, these are some of the buying options, and now let's take a look at the unboxing that we have. So we'll do that now. Okay. We're going to have a little unboxing here. And there we go. Okay, yeah, it's got a lot of bubble wrap. I like bubble wrap better than I do popcorn. Okay. And this is the guarantee and warranty and so forth. So, we'll see. Uh-oh. It's Parmigiani. One of my favorite. Alright, so let's open up this guy and see what we have here. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is different. Let's see. So we have here, we got a okay, this is a cleaning cloth. Oh my goodness, this is cool. This is a passport case. How cool is this? This is really neat. And here, this is the instructions. And this is the cleaning cloth. And this is, I have to thumb that over, the date of purchase. I'll fill that in, authorized dealer. And that's a 1-year guarantee from Parmigiani. Okay, let's see, and I got a travel case. Holy smoke. I wonder what this is. Probably for extra bands would be my guess, but I'm not sure. And got a couple things here. I'll have to figure that one out. Here we have it. Oh boy, do I like this watch. This is really beautiful. And there's a rotor. Okay. So these are synchronized. All right, so it's about 10:41. There's one. Now this has hacking, so small seconds are turned off until I pop it in. And now the small seconds are cranked up again, I think. Okay, now for the top one, I pull out this guy right here, and it's the only one that moves, so I'm going to change it to GMT time. Okay, it's 3:43. It's 3:43 in London, and so I know that is going to be, that will be the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Okay, and then it's about 43. These two are now coordinated. Okay, now what'll happen if I pull this out again? These two times will stay relative to one another, and the minute will be the same. Okay, I'm good to go. This fits nice and snug. And if I want to give it a little more room, I can pop it out a little more. But that's it. It's got daytime for both of these, and then at night this will turn to the black area first, and then this one will. All right, so I'm all set with the 2 times. I think I'll probably reset it when it's either at the top of the hour or something, so they're identical. Okay, so that's it. Okay, well, the cat's out of the bag, and here's my hemispheres, my Parmigiani Fleurier hemispheres. This watch, I had recently bought a Louis Vuitton Escale time zone. My wife really liked it a lot, and I thought, well, we travel together, so she gets it. And I read about this watch. I'd read about the hemispheres. It's the toned hemispheres. I like Parmigiani, and the more I read about this watch, the better I liked it. I probably more than anything else, I think it respects at least one country with 1 billion people, and that's India. India has their time at a half-hour offset, and that worked for them. All right, so when you set on your global time or your world time watches, a lot of them don't deal with half hours. This will deal with anything, and it's very easy to read. The main watch with the white hands, all you have to learn to do is that the white hands are one time zone, the red hands are another time zone, and then each of them has a little day and night. And so here you can see at 3 o'clock here in the U.S., it was 3 o'clock. On the other hand, it's set to Greenwich Mean Time, and it's 8 o'clock in London. And as you can see, it's the little dial at the top is in the dark. So it's very easy to see. I like the Parmigiani great big date window. And it's when you look at the details, what I did, I took my close-up lens and took some pictures of the details of this watch. And what a watch can stand the kind of detail that this had. This has a couple different types of circular guilloche and a sort of a wavy guilloche, and everything about it. I mean, when you look at it really closely, you can see the workmanship. And this is one of the reasons I like Parmigiani. Here's the movement. One of the things that's different, this was, I think, the 337 Parmigiani Fleurier 337. And it's a automatic. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of automatics, but this was probably a good one to have for an automatic. Beautifully finished. It's great looking watch. On my other Parmigiani, they have this great big 22 karat gold rotor. I guess that the prices went up of gold just astronomically. I think they're up close to $1,400 an ounce now, and so they decided, well, they'll forego the gold rotors, but they did put in a large number of jewels, and this is just this is right now is the kind of watch I really need. It's also too, it's for my collection. It looks a lot like a sports watch, but it's a good traveling watch. So. Okay, well, listen, Sunday we have another review and watch review, a collection review, and I would also like to hear what are your comments about these buying options. And I know you probably have some other buying options, and I encourage you to take a look at Art's video and moving your strategies and habits of regular buying, finding good deals, to watches. And this is invitations to subscribe if you'd like. And so until Sunday, this has been Bill Sanders for Watch Outside, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.